This is a story of tenacity. When I was a child, I used to spend a lot of time with my cousin Matthew. We were close. He was 2 years older than me, and I looked up to him. So when he decided he wanted to be a doctor, I wanted to follow in his footsteps. He chose urology, and I chose anesthesiology. Mostly because I thought anesthesiologists make a lot of money, and they have regular office hours. I had been performing in theater at the time, and I had it all planned out. I was going to be an anesthesiologist with a successful practice, get married, have my 2.2 kids and my white picket fence, and go back to acting at the age of 40 and go on to have a very successful acting career. My mother had enrolled me in the San Diego Junior Theater Group when I was in 8th grade. Her hope was that it would be a confidence builder, as I was an insecure and nervous child. I loved it. I got to play so many different roles. My all-time favorite was playing Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz. My mom would constantly drive to Mary's Tack Shop in Rancho Santa Fe and get hay for my costume, as it would constantly end up all over the stage as I danced and sang. One summer, we got to perform the show daily at the Del Mar Fairgrounds during the fair season in July and June. It was so hot that during every performance, my face would melt off and I would require constant makeup touch-ups. My parents were confused as to why I was pursuing medicine. I had no real interest in science. I got good grades in math and science only because I studied really hard and I had a tutor. And they weren't my favorite subjects. I did volunteer as a candy striper at our local hospital, not because I was necessarily excited to do it, but I figured I needed to do it so that it would look good to the colleges I was applying to. In the meantime, I loved drama class. I was the quintessential theater geek. I had found my pack. Our teacher, Jeff Brosby, was a hoot. He could be crazy and volatile at times. Once during a rehearsal for Bye Bye Birdie, he spent the whole time loosening a chair so he could eventually slam it down and break it in a fit of rage to make a point. Overall, though, he was a great teacher and an all-around good guy. My aha moment when I knew I wanted to be an actor was after a quarter of organic chemistry, also known as the dreaded OChem. I don't know how I managed to escape with a B-. Since I wanted to be a doctor, I had applied to colleges with a focus on biology. It's where most pre-med students start. So I was off to Davis with a biology major with plans to participate in the drama department so I could still perform in plays. At the end of that horrible OChem class, I realized I'd made a big mistake. I didn't want to be a doctor. I wanted to be an actor. For me, being on a stage or a sound stage is like a drug. It gets me high. It fills me with such joy and happiness. It's where I belong. I did switch majors from biology to drama, and because of that, I graduated in 3.5 years. That's all well and good, but I did wind up shortchanging myself. Everyone goes through the wouldas, shouldas, and couldas. I frequently find myself wishing I could go back to the past armed with the knowledge I have now. I imagine an entire scenario in which I go back to UCLA as an acting major and business minor. Move home, work for a couple of years, saving every penny with the intention of moving back to LA at 25 and living the actor life. By now at 54, I imagine I'd have at least one series under my belt and at least one Emmy on the shelf. That is my dream. To win an Emmy and walk my parents down the red carpet. In fact, I've been asking for God Universe for this very thing since I was 28, divorced, and living in Chicago. Dear God Universe, I want to be a series regular on a well-written, long-running episodic on a major television network. I want to walk my parents down the red carpet at the Emmys and have them see me win the gold statuette. Mommy and Daddy, we did it. So here I am at 54, a mere month away from 55. Yay! I can get a senior citizen discount at the movies. I can move into a 55 and over mobile home park. Woohoo! I'm not discouraged though. Since the career that I wanted didn't happen in the first part of my life, then it's going to happen in this second chapter I'm currently living. I love, love, love to act. I'll never stop, even if I don't reach the heights of success I imagine I will have. Speaking my dream out loud still brings tears to my eyes. I've practiced my Emmy speech on many occasions, promising to be concise, poignant, and off the stage in 30 seconds. Who am I kidding? I'll be sobbing after the first 15. They'll probably bring out the hook and drag me off, as I will be the one who will babble on and on. I've been acting since I was 21. I've walked away from the business too many times to mention, and I always return to it. Once you've been bitten by the acting bug, there's no going back. I'm currently in one of my hiatuses. Back in January, I had to have corrective toe surgery. I've been in a cast ever since and totally bedbound save for my crutches and knee scooter. I recently got the cast off and I'm looking forward to walking, driving, and auditioning soon. There's another reason, though, that I haven't been acting. It's a recurring theme in my life, and its name is severe chronic depression. It has plagued me my entire adult life, and it really throws a monkey wrench into being stable, happy, and going after your dreams. My depression is sneaky. It's dark and evil and rears its ugly head when I least expect it. It has a name, Seymour. I'm usually sailing along for a few months, feeling good, productive, and happy. Then Seymour taps me on the shoulder, gives me a sucker punch to the gut, and sends me reeling back to bed, shrouded in sadness, blackness, and deep despair. This usually lasts several weeks and is accompanied by thoughts of going to sleep and never waking up again, self-medicating with pills and alcohol, and sleeping most of the day away. Being very self-aware, I can feel it when it's coming on, and I have no choice but to ride the wave until it crashes me back to shore where I can start to recover. December 26th is when I felt myself falling down the rabbit hole, and it's taken until the end of March to start feeling normal again. Not to mention laying in bed for months with nothing to do but being alone with your thoughts takes its toll. Do I still want to pursue acting? Is it still worth it? Will I ever be good enough for a series regular? I've been on a lifelong emotional roller coaster, and I can no longer stand for it. I tend to lean towards alternative therapies, especially when it comes to my depression. I've been on and off antidepressants my entire adult life, and for me, they don't work. I've been just as depressed on them as off of them. Which is why this time I'm going off the beaten path where my mental health is concerned. I've had brain stimulation treatments, and I'm exploring plant-based medicine, specifically psilocybin. I've seen so many studies regarding these medicines that I can no longer ignore them. They've been proven to put depression in remission and even cure it altogether. I'm all for that. I'm also pursuing transcendental meditation and Qigong, which is a form of martial arts and can be meditative too. This may sound woo-woo, and I am part woo-woo, so it makes sense to me. For others, not so much. I know when I share this with my parents, they secretly roll their eyes. And I know they love me and support me in whatever I choose to do. So as I'm recovering, I'm starting to feel really good and wanting to get back on track. I was introduced to a course called Agent Goals, the purpose of which is supposed to help me find an LA agent. I was reluctant to purchase the course. It certainly is not in the budget, and I have a very bad habit of buying courses and never completing them, let alone even starting them. I just had a feeling this time that I should join the course and challenge myself. I've also been spending more and more time on my business. When the pandemic hit and I couldn't wait tables anymore, I became a mobile notary. I enjoy it, though I haven't ever given it my full attention, so I've never made the kind of income that would comfortably support me in my acting career. I still have limiting beliefs that stop me dead in my tracks. I'm committed to transforming them in the present so they can no longer get in the way of my greatness and success. I listen to autobiographies of famous actors. I love to hear them recount their stories of trials and tribulations, what happened on this set or that, what they've learned and how far they've come both personally and professionally. Finishing Jeffrey Tambor's Are You Anybody has brought tears to my eyes. He recalls his up-to-now life story with a career spanning 60 decades with such poignance and humility. Due to my age, I anticipate more of a 30-year career, and I'm okay with that. What does that look like? Pardon me while I doze off and dream. I'm a series regular on a long-running, well-written episodic with a nice blend of comedy and drama on a major network television show. A few years into the show, I get an Emmy nomination. The day of the award show, my parents and I are in a lovely hotel suite near the venue with our glam squad. We're preparing for a glorious evening, replete with great parties after the show. I'm so excited as my dream of walking my parents down the aisle is becoming a reality. They sit on either side of me, and when my category is called, they grab my hands and hold tightly to them. Finally, they announce the winner and my name is called. We scream in unison and start to sob as a family. I make my way to the stage in my gorgeous yet easy to maneuver in dress and my low heels so as not to trip. As I cry my way through my speech, the first thing I do is acknowledge my parents and dedicate the Emmy to them. I've done them proud and they are beaming from ear to ear. On my yearly hiatuses, I move to my brownstone in Manhattan where I perform on Broadway in critically acclaimed plays which earn me a Tony or two. I'm married to a wonderful man of honor and integrity worthy of my trust. He's my husband, my confidant, and best friend. He grounds me. We have a mutual love and respect for each other. We live a life of fun and adventure, passion and understanding, all while growing and developing as a couple. This goes on for many years, and I'm blissfully happy. I'm living my dream life, and I couldn't be happier. And as time goes on, things change and morph. I have new dreams to chase, and I go after them as hungrily as I did in my younger age. I hope to be like Jessica Tandy and work until my last breath. There are a lot of steps between now and then. And as my dad says, when you jump off a cliff, a bridge will appear before you or you will sprout wings and fly. So here I go once more into the breach. 3, 2, 1, jump. This was a story about running the race and staying in it.